Thank you, Allie. And to get that off your screen, you just go ahead and click Got It, and the message will disappear for your convenience there. And before we jump in and log into Heartland Hub, I'm just going to review a couple quick reminders about logging in here. So a Heartland Hub account will be created for all contacts who need access to order, submit monthly service statistics, and also pay invoices. So each user will have a unique login in order to access your account. And if you do not have a unique email on file with us, please contact our agency customer service team and we can get that email on file. And please note the primary contact for the program will continue to receive email confirmations related to your program's order. User login credentials will be emailed this week, and in that initial email, you'll also receive some information related to your approved delivery days and also delivery window. We'll also be sharing out the links to all of the training materials again, and then we will be sharing out the website link to Heartland Hub that will go out the morning of April 4th. So please note that initial website link will not be included in the email with your login credentials. We're not able to share out that website link until we go live on the 4th. So please note we will send that out on the 4th for reference as well. Now I am going to switch screens here and we're going to go ahead and get logged in to Heartland Hub. So give me 1 second here. I'm going to switch us over. Okay, so this screen that I'm showing here, this is the login landing page. So I'm going to go ahead and get logged in here. And as you'll note, you'll need an email and a password to go ahead and get logged in. This is different from Agency Zone, or excuse me, Agency Express. You no longer need that program group code as a login. It's just one login to get access to the different programs that you shop for or are associated with. So we'll just get logged in here. Okay, so a couple of things I want to draw everyone's attention to as we get logged in. This is the home page or the landing page of Heartland Hub. Some things you'll notice here, this first here is the message board. So we will use this similar to how we were using it in Agency Express. It is just a message board for us to share related updates and information for partners. We'll also be posting any closures that we have, any links or resources to training materials as well. This will be kind of an announcement board. Like I said, as we use very similar to Agency Express. Up at the top here, there's different tabs that you can click on, and we'll be going through each of these this afternoon. I first want to draw our attention to Agency Zone. This is a direct link out to Agency Zone where we have additional partnership information, training materials. It's just a great resource for all agency partners. This user guide tab, this is where if we click into this, all of our user guides are also linked directly here for Heartland Hub as well. So we have PDFs available and also video guides as well for logging in. And please note, we will be updating all of these tutorials to include the link to Heartland Hub as well. This contact us here is a direct link to our customer service team. It is orders@twoharvest.org. So that is a direct link here up at the top. And then if we also scroll down at the bottom here, it is also a direct link at the bottom here as well. As you'll note, you will see our customer service hours, our hours for pickup. We also have both of our phone numbers listed on the bottom as well. Okay, and up here at the top, we will go over all of the different accounts that you are associated with. Just give me one moment here. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and for the purposes of today, we're going to be operating under the ABC food shelf. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that link here. And it's just loading for us. And once you go ahead and click on one of the programs that you are associated with, it will go ahead and bring you under program account. So a couple different things. We'll go through each of these tabs here over on the left-hand side as well. So here under unsubmitted orders, this is any unsubmitted order that you may have started, but you maybe haven't finished your order yet. So any unsubmitted order for your program is reserved for 24 hours or until the order deadline, whichever comes first. After the initial 24 hours, the order is automatically deleted and returned to stock. But you can use the unsubmitted order page if you initially start shopping, but then maybe walk away from your desk or want to come back to it the following morning. You can access that unsubmitted order that you had initially started here under that tab. The order history tab, this is where all submitted orders can be found and reviewed on the order history page. We will click into that and view that once we go through placing an order. The Invoices and Statements tab here, this is where you can view all invoices paid and unpaid for your program. That is specifically under the Invoice tab here. All invoices will be posted on Heartland Hub the morning of delivery or pickup, and will also be emailed out to billing contacts as well. And again, we'll review statements and accessing monthly statements under that tab as well once we go through an example case. This returns policy here, this is just our return policy that's displayed within the system. If you have any questions related to that, you can feel free to reach out to our agency customer service team. Service statistics, this is where we'll be entering in monthly service statistics, and you can both enter in statistics and also view the history of statistics that you have submitted as well. And again, we will be reviewing this during our test case this afternoon. The reports tab, I'm going to go ahead and click into that. With our new system, we do have some additional functionality related to reporting. So we are really excited for this function here. So there currently are 3 different options for reporting. So the first one is related to service statistics. So if you are wanting to download and pull some reporting for your program related to service statistics, you would go ahead and enter in that month and year here, both at the start date and end date, and you can download it as an Excel or CSV file. You can also do that related to agency sales summary and also an agency sales report as well. And just a note, all of the reporting options will be once we move into Heartland Hub. So if you are looking for service statistic information or sales reporting that was previously done through Agency Express, please reach out to our customer service team and we can get you access to the, we can pull those reports for you internally and get you that information. Before we jump into placing an order, I do want to go ahead and just share a couple reminders related to ordering. So I have that up on our screen for us this afternoon. So orders can be placed starting up to 10 days in advance of delivery or pickup and edited until the order deadline of 2:30 p.m. 2 business days prior to that appointment. Orders will not be processed until you go through the full checkout process and get those submitted to us. Like I mentioned, unsubmitted orders will remain in your program's unsubmitted orders for 24 hours or until the order deadline, whichever comes first before the items are returned to stock and the order is deleted. All orders for delivery or pickup must meet the 500-pound minimum for submission. And I did just want to quickly note related to this bullet point here regarding the 500 pounds. So, you know, as we've mentioned, like I said, any unsubmitted order that you are working on will remain in that cart. So if you would like to start an order and maybe come back to it the following morning, you do have the option to do that. I just want to note right now with our previous system and Agency Express, the system did allow you to place orders under 500 pounds. And then it was a manual process for the agency customer service team to manage during order processing, to review those orders, and then, you know, send any friendly reminders if we had some orders that were underweight. So this will now be an automated process for us within Heartland Hub. You know, we do recognize and understand that this is a change from the previous system with how that currently functioned, excuse me, and we are happy to connect and talk further with you about this and how it will affect your program's ordering if you have any concerns related to that. And then moving on to our next bullet, only one order may be placed for each day. If the order needs to be updated or edited, you are able to do that. And I do want to point out that items that are in your cart are reserved throughout the shopping and editing process. So if you add that item to your cart, you do reserve it. There is, you know, if you're editing your cart, there's no cause for concern that you would lose that inventory or the inventory would be return to stock. It will remain on your order and in inventory for you. It is reserved throughout that process. You can edit your order an unlimited amount of time. There's no restrictions related to that. So I did just want to point that out as well. And then the items, only items that are available for your selected delivery or pickup date will populate on the shopping system for you to view. And you are able to view and add more produce items. You're able to simply do that, like I mentioned, by editing your cart and adding that on prior to the order deadline. And I am going to pages down here and share just some friendly reminders related to produce and how that is also changing with us moving over to Heartland Hub as well. So starting this upcoming Monday on April 4th, all produce that partners were previously receiving through our case counted subscription program will now be available on Heartland Hub for ordering. So we are very excited about this change. And we did send a communication to those programs at the beginning of this month as well. When ordering, you will be able to see all produce that is available for shipment when you are shopping. You will have the ability to choose the variety and quantities of produce that you would like to then add onto your upcoming orders. We do recommend that you do kind of check back the shopping list 3 to 4 days prior to your appointment to add any additional produce that you may want onto your order. If your program is part of our yearly bulk produce subscription, we will continue to place your standing orders of produce pallets. And just a quick note, next week, our produce sourcing will be more limited to just the hardier varieties, but please look forward to our full produce inventory in the upcoming weeks. If you do have any questions related to produce, how your program is currently accessing it and how that'll change with our new shopping system, like I mentioned, please do not hesitate to reach out to our customer service team and we can walk your program through that to help you understand how you can continue to access product from us, produce from us as well. Okay, so now I'm going to switch us back over to Heartland Hub here, and we are going to go through a test case of placing a new order. So once I have selected the program that I would like to order for, up at the top here, I'm going to go ahead and click on New Order. And it's going to load for us here. So a couple things I want to pull our attention to here. So this page, this has all of your accounts and different statuses related. So as you can see here, like I said, my name is Leah and I am associated with a handful of different test programs as we've been going through this process. So on this page, you will see any balances, credits, and also agency status here. I do want to point out that the program that we're going to be shopping for again is going to be the ABC Food Shelf. That program is currently active and you do have the ordering button to then click on to move into ordering. For example, if your program forgets to enter their monthly service statistics, you will see that your status would change to overdue and your program would be on a hold for service statistics. But as soon as you enter in those service statistics, it'll automatically be updated and you will be able to move forward with ordering. I also wanted to just quickly point out the blocked status here and what that means specifically for like a summer produce program or a seasonal produce program. So the block status is used for programs who don't specifically order underneath that account. They order under a different one but for that seasonal produce program. So those are programs who typically run from May to October and receive those pallets of produce. Your program will be set to blocked and you can still continue to enter your monthly service statistics. And you'll be able to view those internal produce orders that Second Harvest places for you under the order history tab. So that'll be there as a reference point as well. So now I'm going to go ahead and click order here. And this is going to bring us over into the appointment calendar. So a couple different things to note related to the appointment calendar here. So you will select if you are placing an order for either a delivery or pickup. So for today, we're going to go ahead and place a test order for delivery. For select area, you're going to go ahead and select our Brooklyn Park warehouse. And then once you go ahead and select both of those options, you'll notice that some of the options change on the calendar here. So a couple different things to note. If you have an existing order already placed within the system, That'll populate as green on the calendar here. As you can see, we have a test order placed for tomorrow. If you see that the order, that the date is gray, that means that your program is not able to place an order for that specific day. What will populate as available related to the appointment calendar will be your program's approved delivery day or days. So for example, for this test program, if we page over to see a full week, we can see that we would be able to place an order on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Friday. What populates as white is the available appointment day. Like I mentioned, it's green if you already have an appointment on that day. It'll populate as a teal color if it's a holiday and Second Harvest Heartland is closed and you're not able to place an order for that day. I do want to point out that if your program is approved for a monthly delivery, or you receive a delivery on the first or third weeks of the month or a fifth week of the month, all of those options will populate for you within the appointment calendar here. You'll just want to be mindful of the week that you're placing it on to make sure that it's the correct date. So as you can see, if I wanted to try and place an order for tomorrow, let's see, I'll have to do one other workaround here. If I try to click and place an order that is outside the 10 business days, I will get a error message here that says scheduling error. Please choose an appointment within the order window, and then it'll give you the selected 10 business day window. So based on today, our ordering window would be from March 31st through April 13th. So I would want to go ahead and select a date that's within that range. So I am going to page back over here, and we're going to go ahead and select a appointment day for the 11th. So once I go ahead and click on an available day, what will populate is this pop-up window here that says begin order. So I'm going to go ahead and click on begin order here. Okay, so now this is going to bring us into the shopping list. So you will see the inventory available for ordering on your selected appointment date, and that is listed up at the top here for reference. You will see that there are a handful of different filters and also columns as well, and we will walk through all of those this afternoon as well. So as you can see, each item is listed with an item ID, a photo if applicable. So as you can see, if there is a photo associated with a specific item, the camera icon will populate here underneath that photo column. And if you click on it, it will populate and bring up a pop-up window of that photo. And just note, this is a stock photo that we use as an example. So this isn't typically what it would look like. It would be a photo of what it is within our warehouse facility, but just for testing and training purposes, we put a stock photo in there. So like I mentioned, if there is a photo icon, that means that there is a photo associated with, and you are able to click on it to view that photo. So I'm going to go ahead and exit out of that. You'll also see the description here, unit of measure, category, weight, price, maximum category, quantity, and then the action item, which is the shopping cart here. So we're going to take you through the full filters and search functionality. So what I'm first going to do is show you the search option. So up here at the top, there is a magnifying glass. And if you would like to search specifically for an item, you have that option by clicking on the magnifying glass. So I'm going to go ahead and type, and you can either search by an item number or an item name. So if we wanted to specifically look for, let's see if we wanted to look for milk. I'm going to go ahead and type that in and then click go. And it'll populate anything that has milk in the description here. So as you can see, I typed milk in the search bar, and then that populated what's currently available for milk. Now, if we wanted to then add some of this onto our cart, you do have the option of clicking into the quantity field here. You can click into it and type over to enter the number, or you can use the arrow functionality as you see here with an up and down. So I'm just going to go ahead and use the arrow, and I'm going to go ahead and put this to 5 cases. To then add it to my cart, I'm going to go ahead and click add to cart, that little shopping icon here. And you will get a note that populates below that says successfully added to your cart. You can continue to view cart if you would like. but we're still shopping. So I'm going to go ahead and get back to our main inventory list. I'm going to clear this search, and that's going to bring us back here. Now, if we wanted to use some of the different filter options, we can do so over here on the left-hand side of the screen. So a couple different options here. Item category. If you would like, you can search by donated, purchase, TFAP. If your program is TFAP approved and you wanted to specifically only pull TFAP items, you can filter specifically by that. If we only wanted to look at donated or purchased, you have that option as well. And it's also listed here as a column for reference as well. We also have product category. So the type of product, if you're wanting to narrow your search and look specifically for all produce or bread items or dairy, you could do so by simply clicking on that. So we could see if there was any bread in inventory that would be associated once I go ahead and click on that specific product category. The on-site only option here, if you see the option of yes, that means that you can search and look for product that's specifically for prepared meal programs. So that's specifically, or if you do have a meal program or you're shopping for a meal program as well. In order to clear the filters, there's two options to do that. You see here, you can click the X button, or over on the left-hand side, there's another X button as well. So we're going to go ahead and clear all. So you can then see the full options for storage requirements. Storage requirements is another filter option. If you would like to look for only dry items, refrigerated items, or freezer items, that is also an option. The other thing I wanted to point out, there is an option if you want to search by price point. So if we wanted to populate all low to high items or high to low, you can do so by clicking on that filter at the top here, and the inventory list would then populate. As of right now, if you click on relevance, it just brings you back to the main inventory screen. That's not currently filtering by anything as of right now. Okay, so if we wanted to try and add some additional items in our shopping cart for our test order, let's go ahead and do so. So like I said, if we wanted to search and look for donated, we can do that here. Okay, so then it'll populate the items that are donated. So if we wanted to add some pet food here, if we wanted to add some different produce, we can, again, you can use the arrow functionality or type in, and I would then click on the shopping cart option. Please note, one thing that is currently different from Agency Express is you do have to click on the shopping cart icon when you are adding the individual item. There's not right now a current like add all items to cart like how we currently have in Agency Express. So I did just want to explicitly point that out for reference. So I'm going to go ahead and add some additional items in my cart here and click add. Okay, now again, if I want to clear the filter that I currently have, I'm going to go ahead and clear all. And if we wanted to search and maybe look for some different protein options, we can go ahead and search for that and add some additional things on here. Okay, and like I said, maybe let's go in and add some apples onto our order as well. Okay, so I'm gonna, like I said, go ahead and clear that search. Okay, so if I'm ready and done shopping, I can go ahead and click view cart. Now, just a note, if there are numerous pages of inventory, you can page over both at the top here, there's different page options, and then also at the bottom for reference as well. So I just wanted to point that out. So we're gonna go ahead and view cart to see what we currently have in our shopping cart. Okay, so a couple things to note about this screen. It'll pull some relevant information for you up at the top here. So it'll pull in the appointment date, the total number of items that you currently have. It'll also pull in the your agency name and program name, the estimated weight and total, and then also appointment type as well. Now, there are some additional editing options you can do at this point in time if you're not quite ready to check out. If you realize that you want to remove something from your order, you can either do so by simply adjusting the quantity here if you wanted to increase or decrease that, or if you wanted to simply remove the full item from your cart, you can do so by clicking on the little garbage can icon here and remove the item. So I'm going to go ahead and just remove the PetSmart dog food. I changed my mind. I don't want that. So I'm going to click on that little trash can, and it'll say, are you sure you want to remove selected item? I click yes, and I can go ahead and remove that from my cart. And as you can see, it's now updated and removed from my cart. And the weight and cost will also update from that as well. Now, if you realize at this point in time you would like to cancel your appointment, you have that option here by clicking cancel appointment. If you realize you want to add some additional items back on your cart, you can do so by clicking continue shopping. And for the purposes of moving through, we're going to go ahead and click checkout to move us through that process. You'll see the note here that says, when you reach this screen, you haven't checked out yet. This is just simply viewing what's currently in your cart. In order to move forward and process your order, we're going to want to go ahead and click on checkout here. And it's just loading for us. Okay, so a couple of things to note again at the top of the screen. It'll continue to pull in some pertinent information related to your appointment that you have scheduled. Just a quick note, if your appointment type is set to delivery, your shipping address will also pull in at the top for reference. You will receive just a reminder here that says, make sure that you currently have 500 pounds in your cart in order to check out. This will also be kind of an order summary page where, again, you can see the items that you currently have in your cart. Over here on the right-hand side, you'll see payment method. It's set to invoice, so you will be invoiced for your order. Again, if you need to edit anything related to your cart, you can do so by clicking on the edit cart button. The total before fees, this is before any applicable fees would be applied. So for example, delivery fee. Right now that is not currently applied in the
What other choices do you have besides invoice for payment?
It's just invoice. So it is just set to invoice for your payment. And we'll walk through payment options once we get to the example cases for paying an invoice and statement. Great question. So the next thing I want to draw our attention to is the information down here under delivery receiver. So this information, delivery receiver. So you want to go ahead and enter in the delivery receiver or pickup person related to the specific appointment. So this would be the person that would be present for the order, or that we would be able to contact the day of by the driver. So for example, if a driver showed up to your location and no one was there, excuse me, the driver would be able to call the person that's listed here. So then they would have access to that contact information. So we're excited for this option here. So in order for us to proceed forward with placing our order, you're going to go ahead and enter in that information here. So just a quick note related to the mobile phone number, you don't need to add in dashes for the phone number, and it does just need to be a 10-digit number. So I'm going to go ahead and enter that in here. And also for the email, you'll want to include an email that has the @ symbol just for formatting purposes. So I will go ahead and enter in that information. If for whatever reason I accidentally type in an extra number and you try to click place order, it will give you an error message, and it'll pop up in a couple different places. So it'll populate underneath the field and also over here under place order and up at the top as well. So I'm going to go ahead and back over that number there, and we can go ahead and resubmit that order. So I'm going to click place order. And as you can see, it's processing. And like I said, it's a little slower right now because we are in a sandbox environment, but once we get to the live system, it'll be seamless to go through everything. So it's just loading right now for us. Okay, so once the order is successfully placed, you will get this confirmation that pops up here that says, thank you for shopping with us. It will include the sales order number. It'll also let you know you'll receive a confirmation email. And then 1 business day prior to your order, you will also get an email confirming your delivery window as well. So now if we want to go ahead and review that order, and or if we realize, oh, we forgot to add something onto that order, we can simply go in and edit that order and add that on. So in order to get back to that, I'm going to click on Program Account here. And like I said, any orders related to your account, any submitted orders, I should say, are under the order history section here. So as you can see, we have quite a few different test orders that we've placed within the system as we've been going through training. So we are going to go ahead and select one of our upcoming orders that we have to go ahead and edit it. So now we'll be going through our second test case this afternoon of editing an order. And one thing to note, if you would like to move forward with viewing your order or editing your order, what you want to do is go ahead and click on the sales order number here. And there's a couple different things to note with this screen. One, this screen can be printed for reference. So to print it, you would click on that print icon up at the top here, and it would open into a PDF file for you to go ahead and print. Again, pertinent information related to the order is specifically listed up here at the top for you. You do have some additional options as well. You can either cancel the order if it's prior to the order deadline, and also edit the order if it's prior to the order deadline as well. So if we would like to go in and now edit this order, we would do so by simply clicking on Edit Order. And it'll load us into the editing order screen. And there's a couple things I want to point out here. So as you can see, this is a different screen from our initial shopping screen. So a couple different things I'm going to draw everyone's attention to this afternoon. So up at the top here, you will have all of the items that you currently have on your order. It'll pull in different things related to that order. So it'll pull in, similar to the other screen, category, product category, and storage type. As you can see, we don't currently have those options as filters over on the side here, but we did go ahead and pull in that information. And I do just want to note, like I'm sure you can see, this is a different shopping experience. It looks different from when you're initially placing your order. We are going to be updating this experience to ensure that it is the same when you are initially shopping and placing your order as when you are editing your order. So just know that we are working to update this process to ensure a user-friendly experience and something that also matches when you're initially placing your order too. So we'll be making this update within the first month. But for the time being, then I do want to point out how we would go through with editing this order. So like I mentioned, items that you order are listed here up at the top, and then they're also listed directly here under the catalog items as well. So it kind of pulls what you currently have on order in 2 different spots. So I just wanted to point that out for reference. If at the top here, you just wanted to quickly update a quantity item here or remove the item, you can simply do so by clicking into it, similar to the shopping page where you can increase or decrease with the arrows or highlight and type over it. If you would like to simply remove this from your order, you can do so by clicking on the X button here. So for example, if we wanted to take off this tea-fat flour, I can simply do so by clicking on this that X button, and it'll remove it from my order. If I wanted to increase and add an additional case of sweet potatoes, I can do so by clicking on that arrow, and I will get a notification that says item updated successfully. Now, in order to, if you are wanting to add additional product onto your order or see what else we have on inventory, you can do so by 2 different options. You can use this search functionality that's listed here, or you can also scroll down on your screen to look at the inventory list as well. So for example, if we wanted to search for milk, similar to how we did on the other screen, I can simply start by typing in milk here. And then as you can see, anything that has milk associated in the description will populate as an option, and the information related to how it's packed, the weight, and also the price, and also unit of measure will populate as well. If there is a photo associated with it, it would populate in the thumbnail that's listed over here on the side. So if we wanted to go ahead and add some coconut milk onto our order, you would simply click on it. It'll bring that item number into the search bar here, and I can go ahead and click on the quantity and then click add item there. And as you can see, it then moved it to the top, and I can see that my coconut milk is now on order. So if we wanted to simply scroll and look at the inventory, we could do so, like I mentioned, by simply scrolling down. If we wanted to add some of the repacked fish fillet, I would simply do so by clicking on the arrow here. And as you can see, the item was successfully added, and I can see the update here on the screen again. So if I wanted to make any changes or remove it, I could do so by making that update here. The one thing I want to note quickly that I forgot to mention on the other screen, so you'll see that there is a maximum quantity available. So that is the quantity that is currently available for your specific appointment day that you have selected. So for example, you know, we have 42 totes of apples available on that specific date. This would also directly correlate if we had limits on a product for whatever reason. So if we were putting some limits on some of our T-fat protein, we would see, you know, max quantity could be 10, and you wouldn't be able to order above those 10 cases. So for example, if we wanted to go ahead and try that, let's look for an item that maybe doesn't have a couple hundred in stock here. So if we wanted to try and add, sorry, I'm just scrolling to see if there's a good kind of test case for this here for us to go through. Well, I guess we can try and add, maybe we really would like to have 201 cases of cream of mushroom soup. So if you try and add over the maximum quantity available, you will get an error message that says you have exceeded the max orderable quantity for this item and it has been reduced. It will reduce it down to the maximum amount available for you. So I just want to point that out there, that it'll kind of automatically do that. So then you can kind of edit it from there if you don't want those 200 cases per se. So if we wanted to click in, and let's actually try and edit that up at the top here. We can go ahead and we'll just remove that for the time being because we don't want 200 cases of the cream of mushroom soup. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the exit button there, the X button. And then in order for us to fully save the edits, what you're going to want to do is you're going to scroll to the bottom of the screen here and click on Submit Order Changes. So once we go ahead and click on the Submit Orders Changes button, it will go ahead and start moving and saving the changes, and then we will get an update here once it populates. Just give it 1 second and it'll say see updated order, see your updated order. So we can go ahead and click on that here, and then it'll bring us back to this screen where we can see the edits and updates that we have made related to this order. And again, if you wanted to continue editing that, you could do so by clicking on the edit order, or also you could cancel the order as well from here. Okay, so that is our test case related to editing an order. And we are going to move through and do a test case related to service statistics. So before we jump into that, I am going to bring us back over to our PowerPoint here and just get our service statistics reminders up. So like I mentioned earlier this afternoon, service statistic reports are due 10 days past the reporting month. So for example, January statistics would be due February 10th. And you want to go ahead and report every month, even if your program is not providing service, or if you're closed for the month, for example, you want to go ahead and enter in zeros for those service months. Like I mentioned, if you do accidentally forget to report your service statistics by the 10th of the following month, your program will go on a service statistic hold, and you will see that reflected in your Heartland Hub account. And once you do go ahead and enter in those statistics, it will automatically update your status, and you will be able to move forward with placing an order. Just a quick note, food and rescue statistics will continue to be entered on Meal Connect. So we do have, that is staying the same. There are no changes related to food rescue statistics. They will continue to be entered on Meal Connect for reference. And I'm going to get us back over to our page here. So again, if we are wanting to enter service statistics for the program that we're currently shopping for, we would simply then click on service statistics. But if you were wanting to enter statistics for a different program, you would simply click on that program to then enter the statistics for. So if we wanted to change and go ahead and enter stats for our backpack program, I would simply click on that and it would populate, it would refresh your screen here. And you can see that's been updated, and we can go ahead and click on service statistics. So a couple different things to note here. Let's see here. So if you want to go ahead and enter in your service statistics, you're going to want to go ahead and click on create. And there's a couple different notes here up at the top. There are some additional hyperlinks and information linked up at the top for your convenience and a reference point. So if you're needing any instructions related to service statistics, they're related here. There's another additional link for food rescue. If you need to contact us, there is another link for that as well. So I just wanted to quickly point that out. And then please note the date ranges that you see here. We know that they are incorrect, and we are going to be updating those prior to go live. So I don't want to cause any confusion related to those incorrect date ranges. We know that they're incorrect, and we will be updating those. So in order to move forward with entering in our service statistics, we're going to want to go ahead and click on service month and service year. It's a drop-down menu. So if we wanted to enter in, and let me just double check to see what statistics we have entered. Okay. So if we wanted to go ahead and enter in our March statistics for this year, you would go ahead and select the drop-down menu, and we click on March, and then the selected year. And then just a quick note, everything that has an asterisk next to it, it is a required field. So if it doesn't apply, or you don't have anything to enter, go ahead and just click and enter 0. So it's broken down by regular, extra, and then first time visits here. So we're going to want to go ahead and enter in our service information. And again, similar to our other pages, you can use the arrow functionality on the side, or you can click into the field to then enter your service statistics. So I'm going to go ahead and enter in that information here and just kind of page through. And if I didn't have any extra services for the month, I can just simply enter in 0 for those related service statistics. And then for first time, I can enter in that information. And then this comment section here, this is if you want to leave any comments related to this specific service statistics. So for example, if this was, an event that your program was hosting and you wanted to just make a note of that, you could do that. If you do have any questions related to your service statistics, please reach out to us directly versus leaving a comment here. We would greatly appreciate that. And then one other note, as you can see here up at the top, there is something that says your last submission was for, and then it'll populate the month and year. So that does give you a reference point to note for the service stats that you last either entered or edited and or viewed on the screen. So if we are good with this information, we can go ahead and click submit down at the bottom. And once we go ahead and click submit, you will see a message that populates pretty briefly here that says you've successfully entered your service statistics. It will then automatically bring you into this history page. So on this history page, you are able to view and or edit any of your previously submitted service statistics. And you can do so for up to a 12-month period. So for example, if I realize that I made a mistake on my March statistics, I can simply click edit, or I can click on that edit/view button, and then it'll bring me back into my submission form. and I can go ahead and click and make those necessary updates. So if I wanted to change any related information here, I could do so. And again, you can see up at the top, the last statistic form that I was working on was March of this year. So that information will populate. To then save my edits, I'm going to go ahead and click on submit again. And again, you'll receive that message that it's been successfully updated, and it'll automatically bring you over to this page here. And once you've gone ahead and made those edits and submitted it, you can navigate away from this page. So that is our test case related to service statistics. And I'll just pull us back to our food shelf test account, and I can show you kind of what it looks like when you have quite a few months that you've entered in for service statistics. So if we look here under the history page, all of the information will populate for you. And if it does move on to 2 pages, you are able to continue to view that. You would just click over on the page there. So I just wanted to point that out for reference. And this will be all statistics information once we, for March moving forward. So just a quick note related to that, we won't be pulling in any previously service statistics that were submitted in agency zone. If you do need access to that information, like I mentioned, you can go ahead and reach out to our customer service team and we can get you that information. Our next test case that we are going to go over is related to paying invoices. So like I mentioned earlier, you can view all invoices paid and unpaid for your program underneath this invoice section here. And invoices will be posted in Heartland Hub on the morning of delivery or pickup. And actually, before we jump into this specific test case, we do have a couple quick reminders related to that. So I'm going to pull us back over to our PowerPoint here. So like I just mentioned, that top bullet, invoices and monthly statements can be paid through accessing a direct payment link on the invoice or statement, and I will show you that momentarily. There are different payment method options. So you can pay by a credit or debit card, you can pay by linking a direct bank account, or you can mail in a check as well. That is still an option for payment. And if you would like access to paying invoices at an agency level, so for example, if at your agency you have a handful of different programs, if that's a food shelf, a meal program, and a backpack program, and you would like to pay invoices across all of those programs, please reach out directly to our agency customer service team, and we can get your finance user set up to be able to pay and access those invoices at an agency level. Any outstanding invoices from Agency Express will appear in Heartland Hub for payment. So I did want to mention that any invoices that are currently open right now, they will carry over to Heartland Hub for payment. So you will be able to access those invoices and pay them through, like I mentioned, a direct link and or mailing in a check to Second Harvest. And then one other quick note, that starting with this upcoming Monday, we aren't going to be sending out those monthly statements at the end of the month. They won't be emailed out, but you will have access to them in Heartland Hub, and we will go over that on how to pull that information. So this would be for March invoices moving forward, that they would no longer be emailed out, again, those monthly statements, but they will be available in Heartland Hub, and we can go back into that right now. So under the invoices, if you would like to review any specific invoice, like I mentioned, they are all here under the invoice tab. You can navigate between.
Sorry, I couldn't hear what you said.
Oops, sorry, my watch was talking to me there. You can operate between the open and paid in full. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this invoice here. And it's just loading for us. Okay, so a couple things to note related to this page. You are able to print this page for reference. It'll open up into a PDF, and we will do so shortly. It will pull in, again, pertinent information related specifically to this invoice. So in order for us to print and view this invoice, I'm going to go ahead and click on this hyperlink at the top here. And it's just loading for us. It'll open up into a PDF here. Okay, so here is that invoice for reference. So it does open up into a PDF. So it'll have all of that order information and the items you received on your order, including the delivery fee that will be on the invoice. And in order to move forward, again, you can either choose to print this screen for reference, or to move forward and pay it. You can do so by clicking on this button or box down here that says click to pay now. So we're going to go ahead and click on that for reference. And it looks like it might be loading for us here. So just give it 1 second. Okay, so then it'll take you into the payment portal. So again, a couple different things to note. It'll pull over that related information related to the invoice, including the total here. To change the payment method option, if you would like to change the option from a credit card, you can do so by clicking into that screen here. And if you would like to link a bank account, you can do so by clicking on that option. Or if you would like to, again, pay by credit card, you do have that option here by clicking credit card. You would enter in that information as well as the billing information, and then go ahead and click submit to submit your form of payment. Now, if we would like to look at the statement specifically, I'm going to go ahead and get us into the statement tab. So if we want to generate a monthly statement, I'm going to go ahead and click on statements here. And this will bring me into this screen here. So to view, print, or pay a statement, what we want to do is go ahead and enter the last day of the month that we would like to view the statement for. So for example, if I wanted to view my March 2022 statements, what I would want to do is go ahead and click on March 31st. Now, a couple other things to note: your statement will include all invoices and credits for the month selected, as well as any unpaid invoices from the prior month. So if you want to only show open transactions and you don't want to see, excuse me here. So if you want to click on, we would do so by clicking on that here. So if we want to only show those open transactions, I would click that button here. And then in order to view that, we want to go ahead and click on download as a PDF. And this is similar to the other screen under invoices. You will be able to print this PDF document, and there's also the direct payment link as well. So we'll just let that populate and load here. So again, on the monthly statement, you would see any open, you would see those open transactions, those invoices related here. It would populate with the date and invoice number for reference. And then again, it brings you to a direct link. So if we wanted to pay that monthly statement, we would do so by clicking on pay now. And then it would bring us into the payment portal. So for example, as you can see right now, I don't have any invoices selected. If I wanted to go ahead and pay an invoice, I do so by clicking on the checkbox here, and then you can see my total populated to that. If you had numerous invoices, you can click to pay different invoices all at once or just one. So I did go ahead and click on that. And again, you do have the options to change between payment method as well. And then entering in that information here and then clicking submit to go ahead and submit your payment. Okay, so I am going to navigate back here, and I'll just show you quickly under a different test account what that looks like if we have a couple different invoices, and then we'll move into our Q&A section. I want to make sure we have some time for questions in case anyone has some as well. So I'm going to go ahead and navigate under statements. If I would like to look at my March statements, I click on that date. If I want to see everything, I'm just going to go ahead and click on download as a PDF. So here I can see on this account, I have a couple different open invoices, and they would populate here on the screen for me on my monthly statement. So again, I will click on the click to pay now. And then here you can see if an invoice is paid, it would populate and say that. So it's not an option to check and click that. If I want to select the other invoice for payment, I would do so by, again, checking that button and then moving forward with payment. Okay, so that essentially wraps up our test cases of how to place an order, how to edit an order, how to submit your monthly service statistics, and then also pay an individual invoice as well as a monthly statement. So before we quickly jump into our Q&A, I do just want to briefly bring us back to our presentation and share the links again that Allie has put in the chat just for reference. We do have our full timeline related to conversion available up on Agency Zone, as well as all of our training materials as well for Heartland Hub. And as a reminder, we will be sharing out the links to training materials again in the user login emails that we're sending out this week. And then as another reminder, Heartland Hub will be available for ordering this upcoming Monday, April 4th. Okay, so that essentially wraps up my portion of the presentation and training this afternoon. So I will briefly turn it over to Allie if there are any kind of common questions that popped up in the chat throughout our conversation. We can start with those. If not, we can open it up to anyone for questions.
Yeah, there are a couple questions that came up in the chat that I want to pull out for everybody. There was one question about what do we do if we have more than one receiver and you can only enter one phone number? That receiver entered in the order itself should be like the emergency contact for that delivery. If you do have more than one person who should be receiving information about delivery, you can always send that information over to us at orders. And we can add in that information for those standard people who are there every time and should be receiving information about delivery. Then there was another question that was awesome about whether it was possible to edit a delivery date once an order has been placed. And want to let you know it's not possible within Heartland Hub to edit that date yourself. This is because the product you are shopping for that specific delivery day is tied to that delivery day. So like if you put some strawberries on your order for that day, but if you want to change your delivery day for 2 weeks from now, they might not be good. So if you do have to change that delivery day, we can totally do that for you if you reach out to orders, and we can change it for you. But those products that would be no longer good, we'll remove them from your order then. But yeah, if anybody else has questions or things they would like to add to the chat, where I'm seeing things are coming up now below. Yes, if you have a board treasurer who pays for your orders, if we have their email on file, they'll receive a login for Heartland Hub and they can pay on Heartland Hub. If we don't have their email on file, would ask that you send that on over to us so we can get them a login, because yes, they will be paying through Heartland Hub. Though, as we said before, you can definitely still send in a check if that's your preferred payment method. Then about login credentials, everybody who has a unique email on file with us will be receiving a login. If you don't have an email on file with us, you won't get a login to an email. So if you do need a login, please email us so we can send it to you. The Heartland Hub login credentials will be coming out tomorrow. It won't have that live link because Heartland Hub is not live until April 4th, but you will receive your login details tomorrow.
Thanks, Allie. And just for reference, everyone, I did go ahead and put up our contact information on the screen. So again, like Allie mentioned, We will be sending out login information tomorrow to all those unique users that we currently have on file. So linked within Heartland Hub, you'll be able to shop, submit monthly statistics, and also be able to view and pay invoices. So like Allie said, if you have questions related to who we currently have as contacts on file for your program or organization, please don't hesitate to reach out to us, and we can help ensure that we get everyone at your organization login information. So great questions.
Can I ask if food rescue statistics, they're still on Meal Connect? So we just going to just like we have in the past for now?
Yes, you are correct, Kathy. That meal food rescue statistics, nothing is changing related to food rescue statistics. So you will continue to enter in that information on Meal Connect, and there's no changes related to food rescue stats. Great question.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Like I mentioned, if anyone has questions, please feel free to unmute yourself and ask, or feel free to drop those in the chat, and Allie can help answer those questions as well. We want to make sure that we provide some space and opportunities for everyone to ask questions. So we still have around 10 more minutes, and Allie and I are also happy to stick around afterwards. If anyone has any additional specific questions, Allie and I will remain here on the line until about 3:25, 3:30 or so. So we do still have quite a bit of time if anyone has questions. So I will stop talking and let others chime in.
Yeah, there's one question I've seen a couple times here about delivery time. Delivery time in Agency Express is not actually a field that picks your delivery time. All programs have an assigned delivery window or delivery time slot if you are on a fixed route. You do not need to enter your time. It is assigned for your program.
Yeah, and just, oh, sorry, Allie, go ahead.
Sorry. Just someone asked whether the emails for Heartland Hub have gone out. No, they have not. They will go out tomorrow. So if you haven't received one by like the end of the day tomorrow, then please reach out to us so we can get you a login before it goes live. Yes, please.
And one other,
Go ahead.
Sorry, Kathy, I was just gonna say the delivery day, so your approved delivery day or days, and also your delivery window information will be included as a reference point in that user communication. So for example, we will include your user login and also a reminder for each individual program that you are associated with, what your approved delivery day or days are, and also the delivery windows for those specific programs as well. So that'll be, like I mentioned, included in that communication as a reminder. But if you do have any questions related to what your program approved delivery days are or the delivery window, please reach out to us and we are happy to confirm that with you.
Okay. When you're receiving the delivery on the form, it had what I need to do is verify that the person receiving the order, is that the person that is receiving it, or is it like mine as the director and I'm not present?
Yeah, great question, Kathy. So that delivery receiver information that's on the checkout page, that's really geared towards someone who is physically going to be on site to receive the order. So if the driver needs to contact someone at your organization related to that specific delivery, that's whose contact information should be there. So for example, if the driver shows up to your food shelf location and you're closed or someone isn't there for whatever reason, that's who the driver would call and say, hey, I'm here with your delivery. Where are you? So that's more of that like day of emergency contact if the driver would need to touch base with someone.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, great question.
Yeah.
Are there other questions, Allie, that are popping up in the chat? Or like I mentioned, anyone else, feel free to unmute yourselves and also ask any questions as well.
I have a question with the delivery receiver. Um, if the what happens if the receiver is not around and there's somebody at another staff? Can that staff after I
Yeah,
go? Yeah, that's my question. That's why I was asking about whether I could enter two names
got
and
it.
say if I'm not around, look for this person, or because sometimes our schedules vary and sometimes um, the window, sometimes the driver shows up early and it's sometimes it happens to at least on my food shelf. So before, so
Yeah,
that's my question.
great question, Chris. So if you do need to make any changes for whatever reason to that original contact information that you entered for your order, we can edit that on our end. So if you email us at orders@twoharvest.org, we can change that contact information. But like I mentioned right now, you are just able to enter in that name, mobile number, and email address as the delivery receiver information. But if for whatever reason that changes due to scheduling, you can email us and we can update that information internally to then get it to the driver.
So does it mean that what happens if the next delivery coming up would be a different receiver? Because I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just wondering if do I have to let you guys know that is it no, okay, I'll take it back. So when I place the order and towards the end I would put my name as the receiver, right? What if so that would be in the system. What happens if say the next delivery I won't be around, but I will be the one placing the order? I would put another person's name. Would it get updated into your system, that name, and then I would be taken out?
Yeah,
Yeah.
great question, Chris. So essentially, again, for that delivery receiver information, you enter that for each delivery or pickup appointment that you go ahead and submit to us. So you can change that delivery to delivery. You are able to make that update when you are shopping and checking out. So that is just held for a one-time option for that specific appointment window. So for example, Chris, if you were going to be the delivery person, next Wednesday, but another one of your staff members was going to be there on Friday for the delivery, you can enter in your information for Wednesday and the other person's information for Friday. So you do enter it for each individual order. Does that help clarify?
Yes.
Okay.
Thanks.
Great. Good questions. Does anyone else have other questions? Like I mentioned, we still have around 3 minutes for our scheduled training session, but Allie and I are happy to stick around for a while after we wrap up training as well. And just a note, like I mentioned at the beginning, we are recording our training session and we will be posting the recording out on Agency Zone underneath our training page, our landing page, and also on our conversion page as well. So I'll just guide us there briefly now. So on Agency Zone, we do have a Heartland Hub conversion timeline where we have linked all relevant information and communications just as a reference point for everyone. So if you or another staff member attended any training sessions last week, we do have both of those recordings linked here, as well as our training page that is hyperlinked on this conversion timeline as well. So as we navigate over to our training page, you can see here we do have all of the Heartland Hub training materials currently linked as PDF options, and we do have some different videos for how to place orders and submitting your statistics as well. And again, as well as the recordings we have for our training sessions last week. So I did just want to quickly show that to everyone as well, just as a reference point if folks have questions about where resources are. Are there any other questions we have, Allie, that are kind of coming up in the chat this afternoon?
Yeah, I'll just answer the one that just came through about if a program was assigned a delivery day that doesn't work well for them, and if there's a way to change that. Then if you ever need to request an alternate or request a permanent change to your delivery schedule with us, you can definitely reach out to us at Orders, and we can work with our transportation department to see what might work and how we can change things up for your program if that becomes necessary, for sure.
Thanks, Allie. That was a great question. All right, well, we are just at about time. So for those of you who don't have any additional questions, feel free to jump off. I just want to say thank you again so much for everyone joining us this afternoon for training. We really appreciate your time. We're very excited for the new ordering system. And like I shared, please don't hesitate to reach out to us with any questions. We really want to ensure that it's a great experience for everyone. So if you are noticing anything that you would like to potentially change or that would make your shopping experience a little bit easier, please don't hesitate to share that feedback with us. We would readily love to receive that feedback so we can continue to make changes as well, like I mentioned. So I will just throw our contact information back up here again as a reference point for anyone who has questions. Like I said, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. User information will be emailed out tomorrow. So with that, I will say thank you. And for those, like I said, feel free to jump off, and Allie and I will stay around for around 10 minutes or so for any additional questions. So thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of your afternoon and week. And for those folks that are still on the call with us, like I mentioned, Allie and I will be here if anyone has any additional questions. We are happy to answer them. So feel free to drop them in the chat or just unmute yourself and we can answer those. For partners that are still on the call with us, does anyone have any specific questions that we can help answer or walk anyone through? We are happy to do so with extra time that we have this afternoon. Chris, I saw your question in the chat there. Are you asking like once you initially like log into the system, how long you're able to log in for before it logs you out? Okay, that's a great question. I don't know. Let me follow up with our developer and double check. I don't know if they have shared with us what that specific time frame is, but we are happy to ask that question and then follow up with you directly and share that out if that works.
I will also add to that answer. If you happen to be like in the middle of creating an order and you walk away and then it becomes too long and it logs you out, that order will be saved in that unsubmitted order section as well. So you're not going to completely lose your work, even if you are logged out of the system.
Great point. Thank you, Allie. Any other questions from folks still on the line? Like I said, we are happy to answer them and stick around if anyone does. So just feel free to drop them in the chat or unmute yourself. All right, I will put out a final call for anyone who has any last minute questions related to the new system. Like I said, feel free to drop them in the chat or unmute yourselves. But we'll do a final call for questions before we wrap up and end our training session for this afternoon. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon and attending our training session for Heartland Hub. As I mentioned, we're very excited for the new system. And if anyone has any further questions, please don't hesitate to contact us at orders@2harvest.org. And we will get this recorded training posted on Agency Zone for reference, but we will go ahead and end it. And like I mentioned earlier, I hope everyone has a great rest of their day. Thank you. Bye-bye.